Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome in. It's Heather with Heather's Healing, and I'm here to do a mid-year review for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. So welcome in. Let's see where you're at, Scorpio, where you've been, and where you are headed. So let's take a check in with your energy, Scorpio. Show me Scorpio's energy. And I'm recording this on August 16th, 2026. So we're going to be looking at the beginning of the year, where you are now, and where you are headed. So Scorpio, show me Scorpio's energy, collective energy for Scorpio. Nice. Page of Cups. So this card is representing your energy. You are a water sign, and this card is also a water sign. So here's what I feel. You're doing your best to find your peace. You're doing your best to look for the happy surprises in life. You're doing your best to be optimistic, to look on the bright side, um, to find joy, to find peace. I'm really feeling that. You're doing your best to find your peace. And I do feel like for some of you that is kind of a challenge right now. That is kind of what I'm feeling here with this Page of Cups. And for some of you, I feel like you're learning. For some of you, it feels like you're learning. This is going to sound weird, but it feels like you're learning your life again. You're learning how to live your life again. It could be because you've had a lot of changes in your life. So you're finding yourself on a new path. Um, it could be that you're just getting to know yourself in a different way. I mean, we're constantly throughout life having endings and new beginnings, and I feel like you are at a new beginning for many Scorpios. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. So it feels like trying to find your footing, trying to find your peace. You're just trying to find your way. That's what I'm feel here with uh, with Scorpio. So, what does Spirit want to talk to you about? What's the question? What would Spirit like to talk to you about? And I am offering this style of a reading for as a summer special through September, and the link is below. If you would like a personal video recording in this style, that link is below. All right, what would Spirit like to talk to Scorpio about? Death. Spirit would like to talk to you about death. I'm kind of not surprised. For some of you, this could be a literal death. You've had a death of a friend, family, coworker, someone who was um, someone who took up a lot of space in your life. So for some of you, yeah, I think this is literal death that we're talking about. If it's not that, it is a big change. It's a huge transformation, which makes sense with everything that I said about your energy. So Spirit would like to talk about this change, this transformation. This is also your card, Scorpio. In tarot, you are represented by the Death card. So again, this is very much your energy. And for Scorpio, you're very familiar with this energy. You're very, I don't want to say necessarily comfortable with it, but you understand it. You have a good understanding of death and rebirth, constant changes, letting go, saying goodbye. Doesn't mean that it's easy. But I do feel out of all of the zodiac signs, I feel like Scorpio, you guys are best equipped for this kind of energy. So it's the underworld. It's walking through the darkness, finding your way through, the resilience that that brings, you know? Okay, so we're talking about death and transformation. What else about this? Why Why is this coming up? More information, please. What does Scorpio need to know about this? I'm hearing it's ongoing, which yes, it is. But I'm wondering if that is talking about another big, another big change or ending coming up, possibly this year. We'll see what comes up in this reading. I'm hearing three more shifts. So three more changes. We've got the Queen of Swords coming up. So we were asking, what else do we need to know about this? About this death and transformation, and we've got the Queen of Swords. Hmm. What else do we need to know about this? How is this changing your perspective on your life? What are you questioning about your way forward? I feel like for some of you, this feels like a pivot. I feel like you're at a pivot point. So this could be some of you looking at possibly changing your career, maybe going back to school, perhaps it's moving. But and this is going to be different for each person, but I feel like you're being asked to look at what all of these endings and new beginnings that have came up. Um, what are you questioning about that? Where does it feel like the universe is asking you to pivot and move in a different direction? Um, what has it what have these changes caused you to question? I feel like there is a need to look at that a little deeper. And maybe for some of you, you've been avoiding looking at that. I feel like these changes are pointing you in a particular direction. Especially, I keep looking at her hand, it's like pointing you in a particular direction. And I feel like some of you are you're really avoiding that. You just don't want to bother with it. You don't want to look at it. Maybe it feels overwhelming. But I do feel like you're being asked to pivot in a different direction. We'll see what else comes up here. So going back and looking at the beginning of this year, what was going on for Scorpio at the beginning of this year? Collectively, what was going on for Scorpio collectively at the beginning of this year? What was going on for Scorpio collectively at the beginning of this year? We've got the Two of Wands. This is kind of what I was feeling. I was feeling like, I'm making plans. I'm planning for the future. I'm looking ahead. I'm getting really excited. I have just a lot of things I want to do. This is future planning. You weren't necessarily taking action on these plans yet, but you had a lot of plans. You were planning ahead. You were really excited. You were ready for adventure. You were really lit up. And this is a very optimistic energy. Planning ahead, really excited, looking forward to this year. So that's a really nice energy. And it's also the energy of being open to new experiences too. So I feel like at the beginning of this, what I'm noticing here is at the beginning of this year, you were really open to taking a risk, taking some chances. You were open to adventure. And it feels like where you are right now, you are not as open as you were at the beginning of the year. It feels like there's a little more of the energy feels a little more shut down and wanting to avoid risk and not wanting to take a lot of chances. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. So, looking at what is going on right now, currently for Scorpio, Let's see what's going on right now for Scorpio. What's going on right now for Scorpio collectively? What's currently taking place? Okay, so we've got the 5 of Swords here. Well, this is feeling cheated. No wonder you're not maybe you're feeling you don't want to take a risk. You don't really want to take chances. Um 5 of Swords. This is the energy of well, this is the energy of not having a lot of energy. You're not going to put up a fight. Um that's what I'm feeling here. So I feel like some of you may have been taken advantage of. Um, you may have been cheated or lied to by somebody. This could also be bullying type of energy where you've been bullied by someone. For some of you, you might just feel like the universe has been bullying you. You might just feel like the universe has screwed you. Um, it's the energy of feeling defeated. Now this could be, someone that has imposed their will on you. Um, and again, I kind of feel for some of you, this could be just you feel that the universe has just kind of kicked your butt this year. Um, so yeah, so I can see why you wouldn't really want to be taking a risk. Energetically, it doesn't feel like you have the energy. You just the physical stamina this I just don't feel like you have it right now. This is temporary. So, that's okay. Just it's good to acknowledge where you are. Um and I also feel like there's a little bit of a this could be brain fog. There is a heaviness around you. This could be sorrow and grief that you're dealing with, but it's preventing you from being able to think clearly or see the big picture. It feels like your world has kind of like the walls are closing in on you. That's not actually what's happening, but that's what it feels like to me. So if I'm feeling that, you're probably feeling that. So it's kind of hard to be in this energy that you were in at the beginning of the year where you were really optimistic, planning for the future, you had a lot of plans, you were really open. This is a really open energy, and now it feels a little compressed. And maybe some of you are not feeling as trusting either. I mean, if you were screwed by somebody or cheated or bullied, um yeah, you're not probably not going to be feeling super trusting. So, let me just take a look here before I move on, just bear with me for just a second here. So we've got Venus, Mars, Mars and Aries, Venus and Aquarius, Death. That's your energy, Scorpio. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at um, energy towards the end of the year. What's going on for Scorpio towards the end of this year? Where is this energy taking Scorpio towards the end of this year? The cards don't want to shuffle. Okay, nice. We've got the Emperor. So towards Aries, we got another Aries. So the Two of Wands, this is Mars and Aries. We have Aries energy here with the Emperor. So towards the end of this year, I feel like you're going to be feeling more like yourself. This energy is similar to this Two of Wands. You've got a plan. You've got a plan. You're taking action. You're feeling more like the leader that you are. Um, and it does feel like whatever funk is happening right now, whatever kind of fog or, you know, closed off energy that's going on currently. It does feel like that lifts and subsides towards the end of this year. The Emperor's a really powerful energy. He is a leader. He's taking charge. He's got a plan. He knows where he's going. He's taking action. Others are working with him. So this feels more like you, Scorpio. So it does feel like towards the end of the year, you're feeling more like yourself. But I do like that even though you have all of this going on right now, you're still the Page of Cups and you're still making the best of the situation. Um, you're not giving in, even though you feel like the walls are closing in. You're not giving in, you're not giving up. You're doing your best to look for the silver lining in everyday life. You're not giving up on yourself. You're still living your life. And I think that's why towards the end of the year, you definitely see this shift. Yeah, so that's nice. Something to look forward to. So regarding this energy of death, change, maybe lack of direction, advice and guidance for Scorpio. Advice and guidance for them right now. Advice and guidance for Scorpio regarding their current situation. Advice and guidance. Nice. We've got the 4 of Wands here. Recommit. Recommit to yourself, to your life, to your purpose. Um, recommit. Going forward from this point on, what is it that you are going to promise to yourself? What are you going to commit to? What goals do you want to have in place? You know, how what kind of energy do you want to bring into your life? I feel like that's the question that Spirit's asking you here. What are you willing to commit to? How are you willing to increase your life force? How are you willing to breathe life back into yourself? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to commit to? And it can be something really simple like, you know, I'm going to go out and be social 1 day a week, or I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to enjoy nature. You know, how are you committing to yourself? And I do feel like this is more about increasing your life force. So bringing joy, bringing vitality back into your life. I feel like that's the trick here. It's fire energy. So thinking about fire and having that drive and that passion. How can you feed your passion? How can you feed your drive in a healthy way? We can do this in a lot of unhealthy ways, but doing it in a healthy way will increase your vitality long term, and that's what I feel here is being asked. Let's look at the outside influence. This is the energy of the people around you, the environment around you. What is the environment around Scorpio? This is the outside influence. What is the outside influence around Scorpio? Outside influence for Scorpio. Nice. I like this. We've got the Knight of Wands. This is exactly what you need. You have people around you that embody what you're being asked to commit to. So I really like that. You have examples in your life of people that live that life, of people that follow their passion, that are curious, adventurous, spontaneous. They feed their passions. Their life force is strong. Their vitality is strong. They live life, they enjoy life. You have really good examples of this in your life, in your outside environment. I also feel like you have examples of how I feel like there's also people around you that embody the dangerous way of following your passions and feeding your life force. So some of you could have, I feel like you've got great examples of both people that enjoy life, live life. They're very bold and courageous, and they're freedom loving. They probably travel, they're spontaneous, they're not afraid to live life. And then I feel like you have examples of people that feed their passion in destructive ways. So this could be through, addiction, being spontaneous and living for the moment, but having no long-term plans. So they end up getting themselves into trouble. I feel like you have examples of both. So follow the examples of those people that are healthy, that are living their life. Follow those, hang out with those people. So I do love that you have people around you that are literally embodying the energy that you're being asked to recommit to. So spend time with those people. That's really nice. I'm glad you have those kinds of people around you. Hopes and fears. And don't cut ties with those people either. Maybe you haven't hung out with them for a while, but they're there. They're still there. So reach out. Plan a fun outing or something. Reconnect. So hopes and fears for Scorpio. What's going on in their subconscious? That's kind of what I feel. What's going on in their subconscious? Looking at the hopes and fears. Ace of Cups. What a beautiful card. I feel like this is a fear though. Um a fear of maybe never having fun again, maybe never really feeling like yourself again. There could be a fear here around not finding love, um, not having a home, not being able to find your place in life. This is the energy that is the subconscious energy. Maybe also feeling like for some of you, I feel like there is a need to forgive someone. So maybe there's some fear here that you'll never be able to reach forgiveness. You'll never be able to find peace with a particular person or a situation. And I wouldn't, here's what I find, what I have personally found to work when it comes to finding peace and finding forgiveness with a person or a situation. Stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it. Stop trying to make it happen and just be. And what I have found that forgiveness and that peace. And I wasn't even trying to find it. It just happened. So give it over to God, give it over to the universe, whatever higher power you believe in, hand those fears over, and just know that um these are fears. It doesn't mean that you'll never find love or you won't find your purpose, or these are just all subconscious fears running in the background. But I think it's helpful to know what is running in the background so you can see it for what it is. Um, they're fears. Doesn't mean that's reality. I can definitely see Scorpio, you guys have very much been in flux. I'm trying to think of the other sign that maybe it was Leo. I think it might have been Leo that had a lot of was having a tough year. I feel similar here for Scorpio. Maybe the past 3 years for Scorpio has been kind of tough. Potential outcome. Let's look at the potential outcome for Scorpio. Potential outcome as we move into the end of this year and into 2027. Potential outcome for Scorpio. Nice. We have the 10 of Pentacles here. Um, this is longevity, this is stability, this is community. So potential outcome, it's finding your community. It's connecting with your purpose. It's this is very much community. This is being involved in the community. This and the community could be your friends and family. You know, this is being of service, but also people being in service to you. This is financial longevity. So if you're having fears around money, this is financial longevity as well. But this is community. So potential outcome. This could be finding a new community or finding with whatever situation you're in, this could open you up to new people, to a new community. And maybe sharing your story, sharing what's been going on with you. Don't get stuck in your story because I see that happen a lot. Don't identify with the bullshit and the crappy things that happen. Share your story, share what you've learned, but don't identify with that. Don't make that your story. Don't make that your identity. That that can really get you stuck, and I see people do that all the time. But connect with community, with like-minded people. Be of service, and allow other people to be in service to you as well. So that's a really nice energy. All right, let's go ahead and pull 3 cards from the bottom for Scorpio, and then I'm going to pull 1 oracle card as well. So, yeah, so going back to this community card, I feel like this is you're finding you're finding a new, I don't want to say this. Well, it is a new purpose. It's a new way of showing up in the world. Um, this isn't your only cause. This kind of does feel like a cause, though. It feels like maybe, for example, if you lost someone to suicide, maybe you're going to get involved in suicide survivors group or something like that. And you're going to share your story and be of service in that group. That's one way that you could be showing up. It's not your only purpose, it's not your only way of being, but that does help give you direction. It helps to bring in a different way of looking at your situation. And I also feel like you're going to have a lot of clarity. We've got 2 pages here, so that tells me that you are, there's opportunity here to learn something new. It's a new beginning. This is probably a group that you've not been involved with before. It's a new cause. It's a new way of being of service, and it's going to bring you a lot of insight and awareness on maybe how to heal certain aspects of yourself and how to move forward in a clarified, lighthearted way. I also feel like it's a way of processing your grief, processing sadness, maybe eventually finding forgiveness for whoever you feel cheated you or screwed you over. I mean, overall, Scorpio, there's a lot of positive things happening here. And despite what you might feel in this moment, things are going to improve. They're going to get better as long as you keep going and you don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. All right. And also, if you would like this similar style reading for yourself, the link is below. It's a summer special that I'm offering through September. All right, final card for Scorpio on this mid-year review. Legacy of Light, card number 7. I love that. You are a legacy of light. And I feel that with this community card too, because this does talk about legacy, what you leave behind, how you are remembered. the impression that you leave with others. Yeah, legacy of light. This could also be a lot of ancestral healing, generational healing. I feel like that's what you're doing, Scorpio. So, congratulations. That's really hard work. Um, and blessings on the rest of this year, Scorpio. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, take care of yourself.